Today, we're going to talk about a confusing and painful obsession that many people with relationship OCD get caught up in. I know I did. It's a card that OCD plays when many of its other tricks have failed. It's the thought that sounds like this. This can't be OCD because I've had doubts since the very beginning. If that thought just sent a jolt of anxiety through your body, I want you to know that you are in exactly the right place, and this video is for you. Every intrusive thought will feel different. The reason some feel more real than others is because your brain will continue to look for things that have a grain of truth to them. Or the more you engage mentally with a thought, the more you prove it's true in your own head. It feels like a fatal flaw that you've been ignoring for months or maybe even years. As anyone dates, they are trying to figure out if this person is someone they want to continue to spend time with. Looking at the pros, looking at the cons, which everybody is going to have. Then you see other couples, how we met stories, and they sound like fairy tales. A feeling of just knowing, and you compare your story, a story that might have included uncertainty, anxiety, confusion, or even a feeling of being underwhelmed, and your heart just sinks. OCD uses this beginning doubt as the ultimate proof that your fears are legitimate. It whispers a real relationship or a right relationship wouldn't have started like this. And because it's rooted in your own history, it feels impossible to argue with. Today, we're going to dismantle this belief piece by piece. My promise to you is that by the end of this video, you will look at your beginning doubts through a completely different lens. Here's our roadmap. First, we're going to expose the 3 great lies that make this obsession so powerful. Second, we will replace them with a new empowering framework for understanding the start of a relationship. And finally, I'll give you actionable steps to take when this thought shows up so you can stop being a prisoner. So let's begin. Lie number 1, the myth of the perfect beginning. The first and most powerful lie is that healthy, lasting relationships all start with a magical, doubt-free beginning. We are fed this story our entire lives by movies, songs, and social media. It's the love at first sight narrative. But this is a fantasy. It is rarely a reflection of reality. The truth is, countless strong, healthy, decades-long marriages began with uncertainty. Even my own. They began with one person being more sure than the other. They began with questions, with practical considerations, with anxiety, instead of, this is definitely the one. A fireworks beginning is not a predictor of long-time success. Often, those intense, fiery beginnings are rooted in infatuation, fantasy, and even trauma bonding. A slow burn beginning is one that builds on friendship, shared values, and a conscious choice to explore potential. Can be even a stronger foundation for a lasting partnership. I'm here to tell you it can be a sign of a thoughtful, mature, and realistic foundation. Lie number 2. If you felt anxious, it must have been your intuition. Relationship OCD loves to co-opt the language of intuition or gut feelings. It tells you that anxiety you felt on the 3rd date wasn't anxiety. It was a warning sign from your gut. Let's be really clear about the difference. Intuition is calm, quiet knowing. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't send you into a spiral of rumination and checking. OCD and anxiety, on the other hand, are loud. They are urgent, panicky, and demanding. They feel like a threat that must be solved right now. It's highly likely that what you felt at the beginning wasn't a warning about the person, but your own nervous system's reaction to the vulnerability of connection and potential loss. Lie number 3, certainty must come before commitment. This lie says that you must feel 100% sure, calm, and in love before you can choose to commit to someone. In reality, a sense of peace and security in a relationship is the result of commitment, not the cause of it. Commitment is the act of choosing to close the door to other options and turn towards your partner, especially when doubt and discomfort arise. It's the decision to stop testing the relationship and to start building a good one. You've been waiting for a feeling of certainty to give you permission to commit, but the real work is to commit first, to make a choice, and then to watch as that choice, practiced over and over, slowly calms the nervous system and builds a foundation of true earned security. Okay, so we've dismantled the lies. Now, what do we replace them with? I want to offer you a new metaphor for your role in your relationship. You have been acting like a detective. A detective's job is to look for clues from the past to solve a problem in the present. You've been endlessly sifting through the evidence of your beginning, looking for the one clue that will prove once and for all if this relationship is good or bad for you. It's an exhausting, backward-looking job. I invite you to fire the detective and to become a gardener. A gardener's job is to nurture what's in front of them to help it grow into something strong and beautiful. This gardener's mindset helps us embody the truth that love is not just a feeling you have. It's mostly a thing that you do over and over again. It's a practice. It's a series of daily choices, both mental and physical. When the beginning doubt thought appears, the detective in you wants to pause everything and go back to the beginning and analyze. This is just another compulsion that will feed the OCD side, trust me. Plus, you're looking at the past from a very skewed perspective and from an OCD lens, which is fear-based and false. The gardener in you acknowledges the thought or the weed and then gently turns back to the work of tending to the garden of your relationship. Try saying to yourself, okay, that thought is here. Let's let it be there. What can I do to nurture this connection right now as I learn not to listen to fear-based thoughts? I know you want a different journey or story, but the story of your relationship is not a straight line from A to Z. It's a living, breathing thing that you are co-creating every single day. You get to decide what matters more, the confusion you felt on date number 4, or the way your partner held your hand through a family crisis last year. You are the author of your story. You get to choose to keep rereading the first page, looking for flaws, or you can choose to pick up that pen and write a new chapter today, focusing on what is going well. So what does this look like in practice? Here are 3 things you can do the next time this obsession hits. Number 1, name it. Instead of getting caught up in the content, label the process. Say to yourself, oh, there is that beginning doubt or story. It's here again. Hello. This awareness creates at least a second of distance. Slow the thought or feeling and then choose a different action other than a compulsion. Number 2, pivot to the present moment. Ask yourself gardener's question. What kind of partner do I want to be? What is one action I can take that aligns with my value of being a good partner? This shifts you out of the thoughts and feelings or past analysis into present-focused action. Number 3, act your way into a new reality. Choose a small, value-driven action and do it. Help with the dishes, send a nice text, suggest a walk. Put your phone down and listen. The goal is not to feel better or get rid of anything. The goal is to act better first and let the feelings follow in their own time. Why does this work so well? Because when you do something about the fear or obsession, you feed it. You're teaching your brain to focus on it more. When you don't give the thoughts or feelings attention or do anything about them, or even better, lean into it, your brain learns that it's not a big deal and lets go of the topic more and more. Relationship OCD is no longer an issue for me. And if there are imperfections in my relationship, which there are, I now know how to respond so my brain doesn't start seeing it as proof that something is wrong. And I've seen hundreds of clients recover too. The fact that you are still here tells me everything I need to know about how much you care. It tells me that despite the fear and doubt, there is a part of you that is still fighting for this relationship. That is the part that we are listening to. Your beginning was just a starting point. The real story is the one you build from here. The choices you make today are infinitely more powerful than the feelings you had back then. In fact, this can be the beginning of your OCD recovery journey, one that leads to a happier, healthier relationship for you both. If you're ready to put down the detective's magnifying glass for good and pick up the gardener's tools, then I invite you to invest in yourself and your relationship. The Path to Love is a step-by-step system for learning effective tools and getting the support you need to build a relationship rooted in choice, love, and peace. It's different than any program you'll find out there, designed for long-term results. You can learn more by clicking the link in the description below. And like and subscribe to this video if it was helpful for you. Thank you for being here, and we'll talk to you really soon.